This week's artifact is Prometheus, directed by Ridley's Believe It or Scott, and written by Damon Lindelof, the poster boy for unsatisfying mythology since 2004. The film takes place in the distant past, the year 2089. Two human archaeologists, Shaw and Holloway, find a Hollywood star map on the wall of a cave. Since they don't have any plans for the rest of the decade other than a work thing they can totally skip, they figure why not hop over to that star system and see what's shaken. 4 years of incredibly slow space flight later, a ship called the Prometheus arrives on an empty moon, and nothing happens for the rest of the movie. Just kidding. Everything happens. For one, there's this building, so that's pretty wild, and also some big dead dudes. These guys are called the Engineers, and they are the proud owners of the galaxy's most powerful sunscreen, SPF Infinity and beyond. Sensing the audience's boredom, David, the crew's resident android/prankster, makes off with a flagon of dark liquid from the Engineerium. He mixes some of it into his famous strawberry margarita and gives it to Holloway on the house. His money's no good here. Emboldened by his newfound alcoholism, Holloway enlists Shaw on an expedition to Bone Town, which of course is an archaeologist's favorite town. Soon, Holloway starts feeling under the weather, so Vickers, the mayor of the Prometheus, hits him with the only hangover cure she knows: fire. Meanwhile, Shaw uses a big laser to cure herself of a bad case of squid belly. It's only when another crew member goes on a crew bender that they realize the margarita mix is actually a biological weapon and could really use more salt. David discovers an engineer in one of those Michael Jackson sleep chambers, so they wake him up for a gab sesh. Unfortunately, engineers are super cranky before their morning cup of coffee. He powers up a hidden spacecraft and heads to Earth to fuck shit up. But since Earth still includes Baltimore, Stringer Bell shows up to save the day. Shaw finishes off the engineer with her squid baby, whose name is Brian. Then Shaw and David's severed head off to the engineer homeworld to ask them what the dealio is, because that worked out so well last time. Finally, an alien bursts out of the engineer's chest for fan service purposes. Prometheus explores man's relationship with his creator, Jesus Sr. The title references the Greek god Prometheus, who, according to legend, gave humans fire for their protection, and not just from hangovers. His act angered his stepdad Zeus, who considered the knowledge of fire to be the province of the gods. The crew of the Prometheus similarly seek forbidden knowledge.
What we hope to achieve was to meet our makers, to get answers. Why they even made us in the first place.
However, it soon becomes clear that they bit off more than they could chew, proving once and for all that mouths are insufficient for the consumption of nutrients. Indeed, the film suggests that the humans are tested and deemed unworthy, as they have been pretty much since their debut. The Engineers' planet is dubbed LV-223, a reference to the Bible's own Leviticus 22:3, which states, "Tell them, in future generations, if any of your descendants, while unclean, comes near the holy offerings the Israelites set apart for the Lord, that person must be excluded from my presence. I am the Lord." The humans' intentions are anything but pure. Vickers' dad seeks the Engineers because he wants to extend his already unnaturally prolonged skin folds.
If these things made us, then surely they could save us.
From what?
Death, of course.
When he finally meets his maker, you don't need a theology degree to see it doesn't go well. The Engineer's wrath may be explained by examining the Promethean theme of sacrifice. In the legend, as punishment for helping an already doomed race, the titular Titan was banished and chained to a rock, where every day a sky horse tore out his liver and ate it.
The Titan, Prometheus, wanted to give mankind equal footing with the gods. For that, he was cast from Olympus.
The film includes numerous visual cues that remind us of the torments Prometheus suffered for his act of Lamborghini mercy. Echoing his sacrifice, the Engineers must die in order to create new planetary life. In light of their philosophy on life and death, it is unsurprising that the selfish Wayland is deemed a punk bitch. Reinforcing the theme of sacrifice, the film also makes reference to Jesus Sr.'s son. In the crucifixion story, Junior died on the cross to save mankind, similar to the way Prometheus did the whole Prometheus thing I was talking about before. The film, however, offers an ice-cold Pepsi twist. We learn that the Engineers perished 2,000 years prior to the events of the story while planning revenge against the humans.
How long's it been dead?
2,000 years, give or take.
While the reason remains unstated, the The timing, coupled with the film's biblical imagery, perhaps hints that Jesus was an emissary of the engineers, and that his crucifixion turned them against Earth. Thanks a lot, Jews. By which I mean all remaining beings in the universe. For Earthling Cinema, I'm garyx Romuloid. Shalom.
Hey everyone, garyx Romuloid's intern lackey Jared again. Ryan is currently working on our One Punch Man episode, but he'll be here in a second to read your comments, so stick around to see if your comment made it. But before that, if you like what we do and want to help us do more, consider becoming a patron. You may have heard of the adpocalypse. Well, it's affected us too. Your support helps us survive unexpected events like this and keep covering great stuff, and we'll return your generosity with exclusive content and more. Now, as promised, our editor Ryan is here for viewer comments.
Hey!
So, what are the people saying?
Okay, first up, said Natacat on our Where the Wild Things Are Thug Notes video says, my English teacher told me that this isn't a valid place to get literary information. Joke's on her because I actually use these to do my AP test essay.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Snetacat, and you're gonna have to tell her that we get emails from English teachers literally every day saying that they love the analysis and that they use it for their classrooms. So, you know, one English teacher versus definitely a couple hundred.
Fight the power. Fight the powers that be. Moving on our Earthling arrival video, Dr. House said, I jumped out of my chair when I got this notification. Now I'm covered in coffee.
Well, at the very least, I hope that the coffee stain looked like the heptapod language, because that's what it kind of looks like. So, other than that, I hope the coffee wasn't hot, but I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Okay, here's a few recommendations. On our Split Earthling video, Theodore Hardenberg said, do an episode about the philosophy of wisecrack, this cynical postmodern cultural commentary show on YouTube. You heard of that one, Jared?
Yeah, I know something about wisecrack. I'm actually glad somebody said this. This is something I want to address. First of all, in terms of a philosophy of the channel, a lot of people work on the channel, a lot of us have differing opinions, and, just because we present a particular philosophy doesn't necessarily mean we agree with it. And as far as calling us cynical, I would say that media these days is very postmodern and cynical, and we're just bringing light to that.
Well said. Another recommendation on our Split Earthling video. Joahoa, Lauren Coe, Alfonso recommends, do the Truman Show, do the Truman Show, do the Truman Show, do the Truman Show, do the Truman Show.
Okay, we'll do the Truman Show.
Yes! On our latest Rick and Morty video, Lucky Lucas had this point to make. Rick is actually a communist whose critical stance towards capitalism is based on the lack of Szechuan sauce distribution. Ideally, he would abolish the free market and seize the means of Szechuan sauce production. Jared, agree or disagree?
Well, I definitely like the interpretation. It's pretty funny. I don't know how he would seize the means of Szechuan sauce production because they just don't make it anymore.
Good point. In our South Park Margaritaville episode, Bottomless Pit said, wisecrack, greater than symbol, Pornhub.
Well, while I'm flattered, Bottomless Pit, that's just blatantly not true.
I also disagree. And lastly, on our Earthling arrival video, Jesus Christ Jr. said, first.
Nice, Jesus Christ Jr., way to go.
And that's all I got, Jared. Thanks a lot. And if you want to get on these comment videos, leave hashtag HeyWisecrack in your comments somewhere. Thanks, everyone. Peace out.
If you want to check out more from Wisecrack, click here to go to our channel page and watch our Earthling Cinema episode on the Dark Knight or one of our other videos. All right, I have to go cook Mr. Romuloid's space dinner. Bye-bye.
See ya!